Hello, my little sparkles. Today we're going to talk about when I used to work at a hotel. Now, it's kind of hard for me to say that I used to work at a hotel because it wasn't the fanciest place or anything. You might be thinking of like the name brands, the big brands and stuff, but when I worked there, it was more like a rinky-dink place, between like a motel and a hotel kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to explain. Now, this is going to be a longer series kind of stuff because I got moved from one location to a bunch of other locations. And I have stories beyond stories. When I was thinking of how I was going to explain this and the different little stories I had, I kept getting one memory to another memory and a lot of other different things. And I had to try to organize it. And I'm like, which location was that? And things like that. I barely had time to write any of it down. So first, I'm going to talk about what it was like working there, the things that I would do, and then I'll talk about each location, if I can remember which one. So, now working at the hotel, I don't want to give away too much to say too much, but yeah. I worked front desk. I got the job from family members and such because once they left McDonald's, I stayed at McDonald's for a little bit and then I went with them at the hotel business. And most of my family stayed at the whole hotel business kind of deal. So essentially I moved along with them. And I worked front desk. And if you work front desk, at least where I was, you either worked one of two shifts. And that shift was you either work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. or you did 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, I was still a teenager, so I didn't think much of it. And I could really do either or. At that time, I'm an early bird, so that's fine. And if you did the late evening shift, I could pretty much adjust. And if you did the morning shift, it was pretty busy at the location that I was at because we were right off a highway. So we had a lot of people coming in. And in the morning, you did paperwork. So you printed off a bunch of sheets and you organized them. And when you had these sheets, you made sheets for the housekeepers. So you had this sheet that said, hey, these rooms are vacant. Assign them to all the housekeepers that you have. And then as people came in at checkout time being 11 a.m. I know that might seem pretty early because now that I've gone to all of these conventions, I see that checkout time is noon. So now that I've been at more of the, I don't know if it's real hotels, I should say, or the fancier side, I'm surprised that people had to check out at 11. But yeah, people had to leave at checkout at 11. And people would come down, check out, or they wouldn't even say anything. So yeah, people checked out at 11. And at around 11:30, if that didn't happen, I would go up to the rooms. I would knock on the door and I would say, hey, just checking to see if everything's okay, if you need more time or anything, or just checking. And I would find the room vacant, or I would hear someone say hey, we just need a bit more time, which is fine. Noon is fine. Anything past 1 o'clock is hey, we need to start doing a fee or whatever. And then if we had some spare time, which usually we might have, front desk would do laundry. I would do whatever the manager's asking me to do. And also in the morning, we would also have breakfast. Now, the breakfast that we had was a grab and go. Especially since we're right off the highway. So people just need to grab something and be on their way right off the highway and just get out. Especially where we were located, we're in a lot of busy areas, so people just need to go. So grab and go was, what was it? Granola bars, coffee, muffins and things like that. So just get on out. Yeah. And again, at the front desk, because we were so busy, we would actually have, I know that some people would leave their rooms, but quite a portion of them would just come down and say, hey, I'm checking out. Sometimes they wouldn't even tell us their room numbers. So I would actually have to take the key card that they left me with, or I would find a bunch of key cards, and I would have to take the key card, put it into a machine, and read the number. The machine would tell me what room number they were in, and that's how I would like check it out. And again, I would have to radio or message and check the sheet and say like, okay, who has this room number? Call the housekeeper and say, hey, this person just checked out. You are good to go into this room and clean it when you get to it, especially if they are on that floor, so they can like get to it. And another thing about our hotel is, as much as our hotel is on or really close to a highway, our prices were decent enough that people would stay there long term. We would even have agreements with people that they would make their reservations for long-term stays. So we had people living there for a while. And so not only would the housekeepers go in and clean rooms that were vacant, they would have to go in once a week, every couple days, depending on how the person paid, and clean those rooms. They would have to clean those rooms as well. So they have a lot of rooms to clean. So we would have to update it, make adjustments and things like that. It was busy in the morning. So we have to like run all of these numbers and whatnot. So I'm running around doing a bunch of stuff. Making breakfast, knocking on doors, making sure people are checked out, updating the boards for the ladies, doing laundry if we have any spare time left. And if we did, doing laundry, or hey, if I have any free time, reading a book or something. That rarely happened in the morning. And on top of that, we didn't get a lunch. We did not get a lunch. And yes, the manager was there. The manager was there. For the most part, she was. I don't know why we didn't get a lunch. And yes, that is a full 8-hour shift. I didn't, and again, I was a teenager. I didn't know that was a thing. I worked with family. It was just not a thing. I don't know if the housekeepers got a lunch or what, or if they ate while they were working, or I honestly don't know how that worked. I know that I was moved from one location to another. I don't know how they ran things. I have more information, but I don't want to drag out or like run around things for too much. But I will say this, I was pushed around from one location to another, but I worked mainly at 2 locations. Everything I'm going to start off with is mainly at this first location. She did not give me a lunch. The manager there did not give me a lunch. I had no questions about it. But yeah, but no matter which location, I didn't get a lunch. It did come up at one point, but yeah. In the afternoon though, in the afternoon, if you work the afternoon from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., then you basically, all you did was check people in, and that was it. You checked people in, and that was it. There is other stuff to it. Like, someone may come down and say, hey, I want to exchange my dirty towels for some clean ones because, I don't know, they don't want housekeeping. They don't want anybody in their room. Fair. I actually don't want anybody in my room either. So then I'll exchange them for some clean towels. Same thing with like bedding, or someone has an issue with their room. I go ahead and fix it. So some minor stuff here and there, but you honestly have free time. And again, you do not have a lunch. You don't have a lunch. You don't have anybody else there with you. And at the end of the night, again, depending on the location, you get a security guard. At the first location I had, there was this security guard there. Again, you're right off the highway, close to like stuff going on in the area. So again, I did not even I didn't even think twice about it. I didn't think twice about it. I was just like, oh, okay, this is normal. No questions asked. Gosh, I can't even about that. But yeah. So in the morning, a lot of stuff going on, or in the afternoon, you get like a bunch of free time. We had enough staff there that we didn't need like anyone doing laundry or anything like that. We had a lot of people to like chat with. So it was running pretty smoothly. That was the first location. Second location I went to, there was a lot of free time even in the morning. And then every so often I would get asked to work at other locations, which are stories in it of themselves. But yeah, is what it was like working at a hotel. These were all the things that you had to do. But yeah, at one point though, things just started hitting the fan. It got terrible. This was all before 2020, I will say. There was one incident that happened at the second location. I feel like that's when it started, but I'll come to that when I actually get to it. But otherwise, yeah, that's what it was like. Morning, very busy. You're running around doing a bunch of stuff. You get to mainly work with the manager, and then in the afternoon you get plenty of free time. You do a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, so you don't know what's gonna happen, but you do mostly get like some free time and things like that. But yeah, you don't know what's really going to happen. I worked mainly at one location, got moved to a second location, and then from time to time I would get asked to work at other locations. But yeah, usually I preferred working the afternoon only because of the second location. And I asked to move to the second location because of the manager and because of how great the second location was. I loved how great the second location was. The first location was very busy. The second location was dead. It was dead. And I liked that. I had a lot of free time in the morning and in the afternoon, and the manager was a lot nicer. I'll get into that in the second hotel story. Well, I hope all you sparkles enjoyed knowing a little bit more about the hotel business that I worked at, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye bye.